Hello, fans. I've been working on my Caleb. Hello, fans. I forgot what he said. I'm gonna do better.
You can never beat him. We already talked about this.
Well, I felt like I kind of was like nailing it a little bit, but I'm flopping today. I'm choking today. It's a new universe. It's a new universe. Fine. In this universe, I'm the Caleb.
Okay, it's the nerves. It's okay.
So welcome. This is the Spider-Man No Way Home audio commentary. If you do not want to hear spoilers, I mean, at this point, everyone should have seen the movie. It's like way past the spoiler ban. Like, you should have seen something. But if you haven't, this is your moment now. Please exit out of our universe and then return when we mess up a spell or two or three. How many mess up spells was that? Oh, he said 6. He said 6. But technically, then it was like 7 and 8. It don't matter. Here with me today, my co-host, Jessica Mars, a.k.a. JMCU. Spider Mindy, a.k.a. Mindy. And of course, the bad opinion man. Wait, that's not bad opinion, man. So, all the way from another universe, we brought good opinion man, a.k.a. Lucious.
It's the alternate universe.
It's the alternate universe, Lucious. I don't know what this Lucious is gonna do. We're gonna see. We're gonna see where his opinion lies. This is his movie. This is his movie. I love this movie, but this is his movie. Like, he never thought he was gonna see any piece of the Amazing Spider-Man series ever again.
It wasn't a bad series.
Oh, oh my gosh. The symbiotes. Oh my gosh. It's more than one. No.
Like,
that series is terrible.
I love Tom, but Andrews wasn't bad.
What? Oh, you said, okay, you left Tom. Okay. I thought you said Andrews is better. I was going to have a heart attack. I feel like this was a good movie to kind of like maybe put the argument to bed, since they all kind of interacted with each other. It's like not really a competition anymore.
Right.
Or do you guys still feel like the competition rages on? I've seen rumors that they're going to release possibly an Amazing Spider-Man 3 in like the MCU now.
I hear that. I heard that too.
I'm not going to go see it.
Whatever. You're so annoying.
I'm not going to go see it. How do you guys feel about the movie? We'll start there. We won't run through like the full breakdown. Because like I said, you guys should have seen that already. But we'll go through like the scenes that matter the most, and we'll kind of go through a breakdown. So how do you guys feel about the movie? Mindy?
I loved it. Honestly, I think for me personally, I think it was better than Endgame. But that's just because I'm in love with Tom Holland. But yeah.
I need a hot take button every time that someone says a hot take. I need to like flames just instantly just Lucious.
So, best Spider-Man movie in general, and then probably my second favorite Marvel movie under Endgame. It can't pass on Endgame just because the hype was Endgame built so much up for me that I loved. And I don't know, this was like Spider-Man's Endgame, if that makes sense.
It felt like it. I agree. I think that this is top 3 for me, only because Logan is a standalone movie, essentially. I know it's the end of a trilogy as well, but if you like watch Logan, like anyone could watch Logan and say it's a great movie without any knowledge of any other movie. You could go into that one and it's just a great movie. Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home, I feel like you have to actually like come in with some prior knowledge or some prior like watch hours of previous movies. So that's why I kind of edge it to Logan, and then Endgame as like 2A, and then maybe Spider-Man 2B. I got to see it again. If I see it twice, I'll definitively have an answer. But Jessica, it's getting a little hotter on this side.
Okay, so I thought it was a good movie, but I also thought it was mid. Like I thought that the hype around it was too much. Like I didn't want to see you fight no old niggas again. Like that's great. It was great to see all the old villains like come in. Like it was great to see like the other two Spider-Mans there. Like I thought that was great, but I just thought that it was mid. Like it's not even a top 5 Marvel movie for me. Like straight up, it's not even top 5. For me,
Doctor
Wow.
Strange into the
Wow.
multiverse.
I felt like the Easter egg at the end with Doctor Strange and Homegirl from WandaVision was the most exciting part of the movie for me.
Not the
Wow.
trailer. Oh, we're gonna get into that too, because that was like the first ever MCU trailer.
I think that Tom Holland is definitely the better Spider-Man out of all the ones that we've seen. And like I said, I didn't think that it was a bad movie. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, this movie was trash, like it was terrible, because I didn't think that it was a terrible movie. I just think that it was overhyped for my liking. I was so excited, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but like this is all I'm gonna say. Whenever the sky started opening up and I thought all these people were about to start coming in, I was like, it's about to go fucking down. But I looked at my watch and I was like, man, we got like 30, 45 minutes left. So what are they about to cram into this? And then, it just, I don't know. I just felt I left like not being like, oh, this is terrible, but not like, oh my God, I love this movie. That's just
Let's say I can let me just say I can kind of bounce off what she's saying sometimes too, because when the first trailer came out for this movie, I was just like, why is everybody so hyped about it? I was like, okay, it's another Spider-Man movie. Okay, old villains are coming back. It's not that big of a deal. And then so I really honestly didn't even care. Like I wasn't even hyped to see Spider-Man. I was more hyped to see Eternals, which I saw already.
Ugh.
And then that's us. That's we can argue later about that. But
movie.
but then when I ended up like seeing Spider-Man like opening night or whatever, I felt like all the hype was there, and I was like, this movie's gonna be insane. And like I don't know, like all the feelings came back to me that day. It was like this is gonna be a different movie. I don't know. That's what I had to say about that. But
I mean, I loved it. I was in there going through that emotional roller coaster. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the dramatic pullout in the middle, like, let's go through it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the news.
Let's get into it.
So, pretty much it starts off right where it left off for Far From Home. We start off with, of course, the fake out. So you guys remember like all the evidence that was saying Daredevil was in there? I mean, they confirmed it anyway, but like when it was like, oh, his arm. Remember people were like breaking down his arm in the trailer, like, oh yeah, that's his arm. That's definitely Charlie Cox's arm. The only person who walks around with arms like that is Charlie Cox in this world. And then it like turns out not to be him. It's like a whole detective. But then like 5 seconds into the movie, it's just Daredevil.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Dang. Well, not a lot of Daredevil fans in here.
I never watched it. So when people started screaming, I just kind of assumed that it was him from like the posters.
Yep. That's exactly me.
Wow.
But I heard it is a great show. I just haven't had around.
It was the best of all of the shows. I mean, I love Punisher. That's like my favorite character. But it was the best of all of the shows, and it was the best representation of the Punisher, better than even his show on his own. That is the best show, hands down. Maybe Jessica Jones season 1, but it starts off a little boring, whereas I think Daredevil, the overall arc, was great, especially to have the Hawkeye reveal, then this reveal, and now I'm hearing rumors that we're going to see Daredevil on Hawkeye, the last episode. So, wow. Even when he caught the brick, just to like show off that he was Daredevil, and then he said like, I'm like the greatest lawyer ever, or like I'm a really good lawyer. I have to use that line now for everything. Like I have to just do amazing feats. And then when people ask like, how are you able to do that? It's like, I'm just an amazing like podcaster.
Okay.
I just found it funny that that's all they said. Like they didn't ask any questions, fully knowing that he was blind.
Well, I feel, yeah, that was crazy. They really had a lot on their mind, clearly, because they moved on from that very quickly. But I think it was because Daredevil knew, or Charlie Cox's Daredevil already, like they wrote it in as if he already had a pre-existing relationship with Aunt May, and so therefore they already kind of had like a relationship of sorts. So she kind of probably had already seen something like that. I don't know. It was written kind of weird in a way where it was like, oh, they just wanted to show off that he was Daredevil. Like they wanted to confirm, like, oh yeah, they didn't just want to give us a scene where he was being a lawyer. A brick just randomly had to fly through the window. And the crazy part about it is, doesn't Spider-Man have Spidey senses? Why was he confused?
See, I don't know. Like that was confusing to me.
Maybe it's because like he was dealing with all the paperwork and stuff. Like he was like criminal number one, and he just wanted to leave the house.
It just, I don't know. It was a very forced entry, but I loved it. And it seemed like it made sense given that Spider-Man's entry into the MCU was kind of forced as well.
Yeah.
No origin story. Hey, here's Spider-Man.
Right.
Y'all know the rest.
Yep.
I do believe that Daredevil's inclusion kind of means that they're going to be more willing to like appease the fans' wishes and desires. You know, a lot of fans after Daredevil got canceled was like, bring him into the MCU. Bring him in. So my expectations, big bold prediction time. Drum roll. That was a terrible drum roll. It's okay. In this universe, we don't do that. It's fine. My expectations are that they will redo the Taskmaster, maybe even in a TV series down the line. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski will be Fantastic Four. And here's the hottest take of them all. Tom Hardy may return as the next Wolverine.
All right.
Maybe. I mean, you never know, because technically Quicksilver from Avengers, Wanda's brother, is like gonna be like Kraven in one of these upcoming Spider-Man. Oh no, he has his own movie. He has his whole own movie. Same actor. And we've already seen Blade, Mahershala Ali, played Cottonmouth, and now he's playing Blade. So Marvel, make it happen. Make it happen.
So you got all of this by seeing Daredevil and Spider-Man for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Literally.
I mean,
I told you, I'm an amazing podcaster.
I don't see any of that happening to me.
So you think that was a fantastic reach? Or Mr. Fantastic?
Honestly, I don't know.
I need to be a writer for Marvel with all of these one-liners.
I mean, you might as well be Ryan. I mean, go pitch.
Marvel, make it happen. Granted, my hot takes on like the Eternals and Amazing Spider-Man might force them not to make it happen.
True.
So moving into the movie, I seen the most hilarious joke ever, and I literally cried laughing for about 10 minutes. Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Somebody tweeted out that boy William was really Defoe.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you would.
Because his name is really William Defoe. And I heard it initially, and I was like, I don't get it. And they're like, because he's Defoe. And I was like, wow. That's hilarious.
I just saw that on I was watching the Wired autocomplete with Tom, Jacob, and Zendaya, and they used that exact same joke.
That's crazy. In this universe or that other universe?
In this one.
Okay, I gotta get to another universe. I need to get to another. Hey, Lucious variant. I need to get to another universe.
Lucious variant.
Do your thing, you know. Straight observations. Did you guys notice the flashpoint? So we'll just go through the story a little bit. So Spider-Man obviously is running around, trying to figure out solutions. Yo, it's crazy how that whole movie went by. He didn't think to call them not once. I called the school. That was crazy.
I thought that was hilarious. But honestly, I wouldn't think to call the school either.
Yeah, I had to ask myself. I had to really have a moment of reflection there. Like, would I have called the school? Because I was like, why didn't he just use his like celebrity status to like, we've clearly seen Iron Man and Cap, like all of the Avengers actually are not fast. Like no one has secret identities in the MCU but Spider-Man. If you think about it. Look at you guys trying to think of a superhero with a secret identity. Oh, Ronin, I guess, technically, but would you consider him a superhero?
Not necessarily.
The Skrulls? I don't think anyone has a secret identity in.
Isn't it Black Panther?
He's very much so, very much so the king.
Oh wait, no, he said. Doesn't he say later on? He reveals it at the end of his movie. Never mind.
Well, when they revealed like to the world like they existed, because technically during the events of Civil War, they knew there was a superhero out there that was like the Black Panther, but they didn't know. Yeah, per se, like he was like that. Wakanda even was like something to be, paying attention to, technologically and socioeconomically and such. And so after he kind of like revealed, like, oh yeah, I'm also kind of like the GOAT as well. They were like, oh, okay, well, another superhero, another famous superhero. So I just figured that Tom Holland in the end was going to just be a famous superhero. But I guess we'll get into it. So he brings in all of these villains. We see Flash Thompson. Did you guys notice the Flash, the DC disc? This is the first thing I know. This is the first note that I wrote down.
What was the first note?
So he said he released a book about his time being best friends with Spider-Man. It was titled Flashpoint, the same name of the new DC movie for Flash about the multiverse.
Okay. All right.
And it was all about lies.
Okay, yeah, that was shade.
Subtle. It was real subtle though. It was real subtle.
And funny. Like,
you also seen Jamie Foxx's character.
Yes.
The very first thing that he said was, wow, I like this power. And I feel like his whole character like was just a Sony dish, like one big long Sony dish. The power reference, the whole character, like all of it. He was like, I don't want to leave here. Like I like you here. Like I like you here. Like all of that. It was just like a Sony dish.
Rubbing his chin, like ooh.
Yeah. I felt like he was way more compelling than he was in those other movies that Lucious likes.
Listen.
Well, Lucious and Mindy, apparently.
I was gonna say that out of all the villains though, like that came back, everybody stayed true to their character based off what part of it came in from the movie. But Jamie Foxx was like the only one who was different. Like I didn't like this Electro. I liked the old one because he was more jokey. He was more like I don't know. He didn't seem as menacing and like how much he hates the world because he was chilling everybody else in Happy's place. But in reality, in Sony, he would be probably killing everybody.
I'm gonna tell you the two biggest problems. In the original film series with him, he had no, like, I don't know if they cut out like the scene or like multiple scenes that like gave him more character development, but his motivations, like how he was like, I want to be a superhero just like you, Spider-Man. And then all of a sudden he like was like, hey, I want to kill you, Spider-Man. It was just like, where did the change happen?
Well, it happened because they put it in the movie. Spider-Man was trying to stop him from hurting everyone. And because he didn't believe that Spider-Man was helping him, that's why he like turned against everyone. Because he became the villain. Like he was going to kill people accidentally. And he didn't understand that.
Okay. Yeah, that film series is weird and very dark. Very DCS. Very dark. And they kind of like played with that idea in this movie with like all like the one-liners. Did you guys notice at the end where Tobey Maguire is giving him the pep talk.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "No, you're amazing. You're amazing." I love how they finesse Venom away from Tom Hardy. Like they just like wrestled, like literally wrestled the entire character. Because the whole movie, I'm counting. Like I literally had to pull out my fingers and count. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This isn't the Sinister Six. Like where's and we know that Venom is already in this universe. So I'm just waiting for Venom to pop up, and he never does. I'm like, that's like such a letdown.
Yeah,
such a wasted opportunity. But I think they're just building up a Venom Spider-Man, encounter.
Yeah,
down the line.
Take a couple, probably a couple more, because in Venom they had that whole scene where, he recognized, just how we were just watching, on that review, like him licking the screen and everything. So I feel like take a couple more like Easter eggs for us to actually get this Spider-Man and the Venom connection that's gonna happen. I mean, it's inevitable that's gonna happen. Just when?
Yeah, right. Do y'all feel like it's gonna be another version of the third version that we'll see on screen of Eddie Brock? Do you guys feel like it's gonna be another one of the Venom? Flash Thompson is actually Venom in the comics as well. You guys feel like it's gonna be him? How do you guys feel about Venom moving forward? That scene, that little setup scene.
Well, it seems like they don't really know what they're doing with him in the first place, so I doubt it.
Because I'm like, does that mean we're never gonna see like another Venom again? Because that was the best part of like the last movie, like Let There Be Carnage. It was like, oh, he's an MCU now, y'all, yay! And then now it's like,
sorry. I feel like they just wanted to toss him in the MCU, like no plans yet, just have him there just in case, like if they do eventually want to have him like in the MCU.
You think they like Sony was like, hey, he's in the MCU. Like, you guys remember that one meme with the cat and the lady? Where it was like, he's in the MCU. And Marvel was just like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with, I guess, that character, because I think Tom Hardy's probably done. It doesn't look like no one will pay to see Venom 3. You guys are going to see Venom 3 in its own universe?
I'll wait for it to come to Disney Plus or HBO Max.
Right? So essentially, this entire movie is a culmination of 2 decades of Spider-Man movies. It manages to serve the fans, string together a remarkably clean plot. I feel like unless you're like not paying attention and you know like nothing about Spider-Man, then like you would probably generally like this movie. Like from a general standpoint. Not necessarily like you love it, but you'll like it.
No, and I 100% feel that, because like just for a general watcher, someone that's just like wants to see a good movie, they maybe just enjoy Spider-Man, not necessarily a stan, but just like, oh, I want to go see this new Spider-Man movie. Like, I feel like it's an enjoyable movie to watch. But like, if you're someone that's super, I don't know, I can't say that because there are a lot of people that actually love the movie that, have watched all of the Spider-Mans, all the Marvel, like just everything encompassing that really like it. I really just think that it's just, what you were, if you had expectations coming into it or what you were wanting to see. I think that I was kind of let down because, all this whole year of just like watching Marvel shows and everything, and just like you're wanting to see like that crossover of like everything that you've been learning about the MCU. Like, I just felt like there was going to be more Easter eggs in the movie that was going to have more connections to everything going on. And I think that's probably why I was upset about it, but I don't think that it was a bad movie at all.
This is the most original Marvel movie. Well, not necessarily like in terms of like just to be created, but it's like in terms of the turnaround, like they rewrote this script. So obviously the story we got was like a much more like multiversal connection to WandaVision and Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier and even Hawkeye now. Even if I don't know if you guys caught that scene where Green Goblin is like, there's someone that lives in my house. Remember, they're alluding to that person that bought Avengers Tower. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
I think it's Kingpin now, but it might be Fantastic Four.
Ooh.
They're playing coy with it though. They're playing very, very,
They
very
are.
coy
They
with
are playing. They were very coy with this movie.
But it's original, and it was like solely to push Peter Parker into like a much more mature, interesting, complex, like new territory. You know, where we could see him basically. Remember, like after Endgame, we were like, this is a kid. He's not fit to be Tony Stark, and we saw that play out in Far From Home. We're like, what is his decision? Even in this movie, what is his decision making?
Right.
And then like to go to the end of it, where it's like, oh, he's much more like hardened from his experience now. He almost was a murderer.
Yeah, he almost killed Green Goblin.
Literally. I thought he was gonna hold back for some reason. I was so like relieved when he didn't. I was like, yes.
No, I was like, oh, we about to kill him. Yay, you're about to
I must have sounded like good R rating.
You're gonna die again. But they were like, no.
And then it was so obvious that he was gonna stab Peter Parker. Right. I guess Peter Parker won.
Yeah, the OG Peter Parker would.
I loved how they called themselves 1, 2, and 3, and and what's his name? Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was like 3, even though he should have been 2.
He was 2.
I loved it. I loved how they also were amazed at like the craziness of like the early Spider-Man movies, where it was like, oh yeah, he could like shoot web out of his body pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little Family Guy reference in there, a little nugget. You guys ever seen the Family Guy Spider-Man? You only get one. But yeah,
I love the banter between the 3 Spider-Mans. Like that was
the pointing meme.
Yeah, it was like I was thinking about that meme the whole time, like just them 3 like pointing at each other. Like I thought the banter, like the conversation, like the laughter, like all those interactions that they have, like at the Statue of Liberty, like I love that whole scene, like with all of them, because it was like kind of nostalgic for fans, you know, like, and you know, just like him joking about like them all talking about how they get their, you know, their webs and everything like that. I thought that was funny, you know, like just how you know, homeboy's like, oh, well, I make my shit in the lab, and
yeah, exactly. It's like, why you do that?
Yeah,
he was looking at them so bootleg. Like, peasants, who does that? We make our own web where I'm from.
Right.
I'll say to me, the best part of the movie to me is seeing all 3 of them like ready to like for the battle, and they all start running on the same at the same time on the screen, and all the Spider-Man music goes up, and they're just swinging around, all 3 of them, and I was like, okay, this is officially it. I was like, this is like the Spider-Man. If that makes and it's like the best scene. It made me smile, and I saw it again today, and it made me smile again, and I was like, yeah, this is the best scene.
Yeah, all them fighting together was amazing. Like I'd have to say that scene and the scene whenever the first fight scene when they're first on the bridge and homeboy comes out with the tentacles, that was like 2 of my favorite scenes for sure.
You know what I don't like about that scene in particular?
Which one?
It really showed, and this has been the case all year or all phase 4. Where are the Avengers at? Like, come on. Like, where y'all at? Like step it up. Like, you mean to tell me nobody got the call? All of this is going on and no one got the call?
Everyone's
Jesus.
So, I mean, everybody's gone. Like, Thor's in space. Doctor Strange was wherever. Black Widow's dead. Tony's dead. Captain America, sure, he's dead. Hulk is in She-Hulk, and he's hulked up. Doesn't even do anything anymore, so he's worthless.
Yeah. Didn't they kind of explain it in Hawkeye, where they're saying like, oh, like they're never gonna come back again, like they're done?
Yeah, I mean they've been touching on it all since like all phase 4. Like that's been the theme, is like there is no Avengers this phase. Like no, like they have to like reform, and so basically that's what I think now. Spider-Man comes in. Now we have our Tony Stark. Like we have our new leader, because it was looking like it was going to be Doctor Strange, and his decision making is also kind of questionable.
Yes,
he's not even the Sorcerer Supreme anymore,
sir. Like you were, you know. I think that we should just go ahead and move to the Easter eggs, because
right.
I feel like the new Doctor Strange movie is gonna have make more connections with everything as far as like the shows than any other movie will. Like that's just a feeling that I have. Like, because just thinking about like, okay, you have this stuff going on with Spider-Man now where you've made this you're trying to like do this new spell and it's messed with time. And obviously, we're gonna see that the dark side of Doctor Strange is gonna come and tell him like, you're the one who can ruin the universe out of everyone. And then everything that happened with Loki, with the timeline and everything, I feel like that Doctor Strange movie and WandaVision, all that stuff is about to go bananas.
Yeah, that movie looked crazy. It looked like Tenet and Inception, and it looked like Christopher. No, it was Sam Raimi that made it.
That was the first thing I thought of with that before he got locked up in the Grand Canyon for.
Yeah, Doctor Strange was definitely UP for this movie. Very underpowered.
Yeah,
very underpowered.
Yeah.
You had a question, Mindy?
Yeah, I kind of say like I feel like it was also like the COVID scheduling that makes this movie feel like off. Because you're right, it doesn't reference anything. But also Loki's getting a season 2, so I don't know if it's gonna be referenced in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Oh, it will. Oh, it set it up. This movie subtly set everything up. It touched on everything subtly.
Yeah.
But it cut out. Remember, they did a lot. That's what I'm saying. They did a whole rewrite right before like filming, which was a quick turnaround. Because remember, Spider-Man 3 was supposed to be like, remember Sony and Marvel kind of had that fallout with Sony and Disney.
Yeah.
Please stop.
The original version was like, it was going to be about, it was like completely different. It was going to be Ned becoming the Hobgoblin, which I was still looking out for. Like this one, like I was like, oh, when I seen the Green Goblin making like the new like little formula or whatever, I was like, oh, Ned's going to get his hands on that somehow. Ned becoming the Hobgoblin. It was a cameo. It was featured a cameo from She-Hulk. They cut that out. Kraven the Hunter, he was involved in the plot. It was going to be kind of like, I don't know if you guys seen John Wick 3.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
No.
Wow, that's like a great movie.
It's not that good.
John Wick is like one of the greatest film franchises. It's like the greatest action film franchise ever.
Okay, well, that's a hot take, so whatever.
Super hot take.
Not really.
That's a hot take.
John Wick, but it's like I say that because, and I'm spoiling it now. Spider-Man was gonna be like running around. He's gonna be on the run the entire movie for the most part, and J. Jonah Jameson, who is really a terrible person in this new universe of his, he was going to put out a bounty on Spider-Man's head, and the Vulture was going to come in, Scorpion was going to come in, and Kraven the Hunter was also going to be the main antagonist hunting Spider-Man. It was going to pull together a lot of different storylines and a lot of different Spider-Man villains. Also setting up She-Hulk, of course.
Yeah.
But when Disney, Marvel, and Sony had their little falling out, it was over with. So they had to like scrap it. Then they brought this back, changed up the lineup of like which were going to come out first. Venom, Morbius, of course, which we have questions about now, and everything else in the pipeline. And so it kind of continues that same trend of Marvel Studios deleting whole scripts for sequel films. I don't know if you guys knew the story about Captain America Civil War, which is really Avengers 2.5.
Right.
It was a completely different script originally. Thor Ragnarok, of course. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Spider-Man Far From Home had a completely different script. It also had cameos from the new Captain America.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness has a completely different director, had a completely different script. And now this. So
yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what? Actually watching this today makes me really excited to watch Hawkeye tomorrow. Because I'm just ready to see what they're gonna have in these damn credits and how it's gonna end. Like, and how it's gonna tie into everything. Because like you said, I do feel like they dropped some subtle hints about some things that's gonna end up tying everything together. And I might be biting my words and coming back and being like, you know what? Spider-Man No Way Home was actually fire because it set up like so many different things. So we'll see, like that's why I said I couldn't call it like a trash movie, how I felt about Eternals, but
I
You
think
wait,
Daredevil.
hang on. You think Eternals is bad?
Okay, I thought the storyline, did not like it. Visually, I thought it was one of the most like aesthetically pleasing movies that Marvel has put out. Like I thought visually, like effects wise, like it was amazing. But the story, I did not like.
Out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it like a 7.
What?
Okay. I'm
That's
fine
high.
with that. I'm fine with
Like a
that.
6 or a 7, yeah.
Okay, stick with 7. Stick with 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it in January when it's on Disney Plus. And that's
You didn't even see it. You're disrespectful.
Yeah,
I haven't
you
seen
can't
it
have a
either.
commentary because you didn't see it. So I actually saw it, like, and I saw it like I saw it in 3D and it was amazing, like visually. Like, so that's why I couldn't give it a 4, because if it wouldn't have been visually like aesthetically pleasing, I would have given it a 4.
So before we wrap, there's 2 scenes I have to talk about. Obviously, Spider-Man getting shot during the Aunt May scene. Aunt May took a long time to die. Like,
You really did.
I was like, is she taking forever to die? Like, I was like, having asked myself, like, is she gonna die or is she not?
Yeah, same.
Because obviously we knew from like the preview or the first Spider-Man movie ever, that little glider has like those like pokey little like knives kind of. So we knew she got stabbed, but I was like, wow, she's really amazing right now. Like, this is crazy. But
Maybe it
that's
was,
not
like,
the
the
biggest
adrenaline.
part. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like, she had to get that line out.
Yeah.
Like, she had to let him know like his power and responsibility. And in that moment we all knew like, oh, she's the Uncle Ben.
Right.
Because remember everyone early on was like, are we gonna get to see Uncle Ben?
We might because of Spider-Man freshman years.
You never know.
Never know with damn Marvel shit.
True.
I felt like he got shot by the security team, the damage control. I couldn't understand why they were shooting at him. Like, it just made no sense whatsoever. Why they just and why he was like getting shot at. But that's not the part. That is a part of it though. But the most craziest part of that scene, Spider-Man definitely got blown up by a grenade. Did y'all not like see that scene? Like,
yeah.
But maybe his suit, because his suit's like Iron Man's. It's like nanotech. It probably didn't hurt him as much.
I don't like this reaction. Y'all are getting too logical. I might have said too
Yeah,
much.
That's
They're
what I was
coming for me.
thinking too.
Yeah.
I was like, the nanotech probably protected him.
We're gonna have to have another conversation about this.
Because it was like he didn't like sit on it. He just kind of like, I don't know. But
And
thank
also
you
when
guys. Go for it.
No, you're good. You're good.
We'll come back. We'll come back and we'll tie it all together. Probably for another one. The next Marvel movie comes out in like 3 days anyway. You know, they constantly release a movie.
Right.
So we'll be back before you know it. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for seeing the movie and, you know, coming and joining and speak on it real quick. Any last thoughts before we close?
Man, we just
MJ falling.
All right. Well, Wolverine is the greatest. Good night.
good night.
Good night.